What up, YouTube? T-Moose here. Since August is pretty much back to school month, this whole month I'm gonna be doing my reviews for school-based films. Now, of course, look at me, I'm pretty much out of school and all, but hey, I still love me a good school movie about school, whether it's an inspirational film or maybe like a high school comedy, etc. So anyway, with that being said, here's the first school-based film I'm doing a review for. Now, lots of people, August is pretty much time where people go back to school, so why not? It's my review for a classic, and that is pretty much the actual title, Back to School. Now, Back to School was, of course, a comedy that premiered all the way back in 1986, starring the always great Rodney Dangerfield, starring a very young Robert Downey Jr. I mean, people always keep forgetting, Robert Downey Jr. acted way before he put on the, Iron Man suit. Remember, he's been in like Weird Science, Back to School. I mean, he's done some really intriguing films back in the days. And of course, Back to School, premiered all the way back in 1986, starring the always legendary Rodney Dangerfield as Don Mellon, who is like very concerned that his son Jason, played by Keith Gordon, is unsure whether to go to college. So he pretty much the uneducated, self-made millionaire encourages him by signing up as a student as well. And so Jason tries to establish himself among his peers. So Doran pretty much decides to go back to school so he could pretty much be with his son and all, and have more time with his son. And he, not to mention, he even falls for this professor played by Sally Kellerman. And he also gets others to do his homework for him. I mean, Ryan Dangerfield, come on, he was an icon back in the 80s and 70s. Whether it's Caddyshack, or Easy Money, Ryan Dangerfield was the man. And Back to School is definitely one of his funniest films. Keith Gordon, of course, he is best known for Christine fame. He was really good. You even had author Kurt Vonnegut, who had like a little cameo. I mean, who does not love a movie where like a grown man goes back to school, whether it's something like Billy Madison, whether it's Night School. I mean, something about films where where a grown person goes back to school is always pretty much fun to watch. And Back to School is definitely one of them. It is such a clever comedy. You even had, the always great Burt Young was also in this. What a really cool cast. The always funny Sam Kinison was in this. The late great Ned Beatty. You also had, like I said, Robert Downey Jr. played pretty much Papa Jock. It was always cool seeing Robert Downey Jr. in this film. It's always really cool seeing someone like Downey Jr. In something like in an early film like this, because nowadays people know him as Iron Man and all. But back in the 80s, he did some iconic stuff as well. And this is definitely such an iconic Ryan Dangerfield film. I mean, it has some really fun lines in it, some fun moments, like the pool scene is always hilarious. Boy, it's actually been a while since I've seen this film, to be honest, but I remember watching this thing one time. It's definitely one of the funniest movies of the 80s. I mean, if you guys have never really seen Back to School, you can find it on... Where can you find it on now? I believe you can find it on Hulu nowadays. You can find it on Vudu. Give it a go. It's definitely a really fun one. And top off, it was also directed by Alan Metter, who did a good job directing this. Definitely one of the funniest films of the 80s. And Back to School, I say, still holds up. Some of the jokes probably won't really go well today in today's standards, because lots of people find stuff offensive nowadays. But Back to School is definitely an iconic one. Anyway, let me lead you guys. Have you ever seen the Ryan Dangerfield classic Back to School? If so, what's your thought? Were you a fan of it? Were you not a fan of it? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Himu signing out.